the world's largest democracy, India, is celebrating 75 years of independence. And Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR, has taken the initiative to invite young leaders from 75 democratic countries to get a glimpse into the functioning of the Indian democracy and to understand the plurality of its culture. Named as GenNext Democracy Network, ICCR invited the second batch of delegates from 6 countries, including Nepal, Bangladesh, Peru, Brunei, Ghana, and Norway.
Briefly put, I would say 2 or 3 main outcomes. First, all of them who have come here, they have said that the program resulted in changing a lot of perceptions about India, what they had. What they initially thought India would be, and now when they're leaving, what they have realized India is vastly different, and it's for the better. Number 2, they all realize that between their countries and India, there are so many connections and similarities. And they all realize that given India's size and the work that we are doing, it's very important for people like these who are rising leaders, influential in their own systems, that this feeling of goodwill, this constituency of goodwill is also translated to the youth. And third part is that all of them are now our advocates. They are committed to not only speaking individually in their own in their own personal capacities, but also they would be happy to work with their governments, persuade them to put in place different policies and measures that will help in strengthening friendship between those countries and also help build stronger people-to-people contact.
So like rightly you said that it will help making that connection, and it is envisioned with Prime Minister's diplomatic ties of maintaining and in future aspect of it. How do you see it encouraging Indians as well, not just the foreign delegates, understanding the whole of India, but Indians as well? This initiative, how would it change the scenario for India as well?
One, for our own people, of course, this program has been conceived keeping in mind India at 75 and our Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And therefore, we decided to invite 75 democracies. So when these people come and then they realize the strength of our democracy, they are able to interact with our institutions. And when this goes out in our media and in our newspapers, etc., this, of course, this further reinforces the feeling in our people's mind as to the strength of our democracy and the beauty of our system. Second, when our diaspora sees this outside, they again feel more confident about India. They feel proud of what we have done, and this also connects them in a much more stronger way with our country.
So the question always we ask that when is the next batch coming, because we cannot wait to hear their thoughts like today we did, and it was absolutely stunning, absolutely fascinating to hear their thoughts when the proud feeling that you have just said, that incites inside us as well. So when is the next batch is planning to visit India?
Very soon. I would not be able to give you dates at the moment, but I can confirm to you that we have 8 more batches lined up this year, and we normally invite nominations from our embassies. We have already sent letters to all of them, and we are awaiting nominations for the next group. But our target is that at least one group every month now should be coming.
The Peru delegate, Dinah Irene, who is an entrepreneur, shares her thoughts on how Peru can take the lessons from India in terms of startup initiatives and more.
Being in India is a huge experience. As an entrepreneur, I could see many sectors that we can collaborate, because only in my country we are in an ecosystem entrepreneurial is maturity. So we have a lot of things to learn, because you have more than 100 unicorns in the way of startups. We don't have no one. So actually I'm leading a startup, is an edtech. So we are encourage people professionals in entrepreneurship and innovation ways. Answer your question. I think we have 3 sectors that we could approach. One is edtech, education. The other one, health tech. And the third one, agriculture. Yeah.
What is that one thing that you would like to take from India that you thought that was excellent? One thing that you would take from India to Peru, and another, what would you give if in any suggestion you want to extend to India from Peru?
Okay. For the first question, what I'm going on keeping from India is the education focus. I think you have a lot of India works in teach or educate people. Also, you have one of the most technical professionals. So one thing that we are looking from India is that is exchange professionals, have technology transfers. Also, I made one program between India, Ahmedabad, ADI. So we want to continue this kind of events and also programs like master's degrees and make this exchange of knowledge. And the other side, what the question was, sorry.
What Peru would give to India, the next suggestion that you would extend to India?
Okay, so I think India is not well connected maybe with Latin America. I think it's not. You are starting to explore Latin America in itself. So I think you have to be more give more information. Or we need to know more about India. I think this is one thing that you can make more progress. Yeah, that's
The communication side of what India is
because
doing.
also in Latin America, most of us are looking for America and also China, but we are not looking to be in India, to visit India, also in entrepreneurial way. So I think this is one thing that you have, or we have to make collaboration.
We are only informed that it's going to be a program focusing on understanding about democracy in India. So I came with a very, very open mind, and I was really glad to kind of see a different side of India. I've always known India from movies, especially from movies. So coming in here, and then I can see how much they truly value, and then they truly embrace culture in their way of life. Historically, it has a huge significance in terms of how even the politics is conducted here in India. So I think the first impression I had was definitely back to culture. So that is something we share as well with Brunei, because the way Brunei is, our style of government is reflected in our culture as well. We practice a Malay Islamic monarchy. So we our governance is like in parallel with what we learn in Islam as well. So knowing that India practices the same kind of form of government here is something that I can see we share. Even though our population is very small, I think when it comes to appreciating our history, appreciating our culture, appreciating our religion, that's the part that is very similar. It was very, very interesting. It was really a load of like cultural exposure, and I absolutely love the visit to the museums, because for me, that is something that we don't have in Brunei, which is truly kind of what I have learned so much is not just the preservation of culture, but how it can be shared. That is something that I found truly significant during my visits to the museums, especially the Prime Minister's Museum. So I find that it's a truly engaging and unique way of sharing India's history and culture.
ICCR and Government of India, when they did invite us for this program through our embassy in Nepal, Embassy of India in Nepal, it is indeed a great pleasure to be here and understand India's culture much better. Though, in fact, we have been coming to India quite often as a Nepali, but this whole process of 10 days was amazing to understand much more and much in-depth understanding about Indian education, Indian culture, and Indian business. And that is something that we really, really enjoy. We really learned a lot about India with this experience, and it has been an amazing experience for all of us, I believe. Collaboration of tourism between India and Nepal would be amazing, to invite people from different parts of the world to this region, and having a collective tour of Nepal and India, because we have Char Dhams, Pashupatinath is there in Nepal, and there are a lot of amazing mountains and other things that we have in the country which can be just tagged along with India and Nepal together for an amazing experience for any tourist, and that could help both the countries' tourism industry, in fact. Always Nepal's and India's relation has always been very hospitable, very enriching by culture, by business, and by everything. And I see and would like to see it much more cohesive in terms of understanding each other, understanding the needs of each other, understanding the prospects of each other, and doing things in amazing collaboration.